Couple different cool processes. I stole one of my first process I'm going to talk about is sort of a polymer thing, but also a little bit just cool stuff. It's the 3D Systems ChefJet, which is a printer that prints with like frostings and chocolates and sugars. Kind of cool stuff. I think it's cool at least. It prints all sorts of different sugars. They have different powders that you mix in. It's a powder-based printer that uses a droplet system, like a kind of like an inkjet droplet system to drop water and a colorant. And if you want, you can put in a flavorant into the water that it's using, and it'll flavor the stuff, so you can like make little mints and things. It has an 8-inch cube build volume, which is kind of huge for a the machine itself is the consumer model is under 5,000, and the pro model is under 10,000. They haven't released final numbers. The pro model can also do full color printing, which I think is really cool. You can make color candies, and you can see the background image there is some different little parts they've printed, and I have some better shots of it here. So you can do all sorts of really cool, crazy shapes out of full color. The primary use for it is making like decorations for a bakery, and they're relatively inexpensive compared to some of the other machines, even like regular frosting extrusion machines that just like make the little flowers and stuff you see on cakes. Those are really expensive machines to begin with, so this is actually pretty close to the realm of feasibility. It also has a version that you can print with a chocolate powder that apparently tastes a lot like milk chocolate. So it's kind of cool. There's some fun potential stuff from that. It's a bit of a niche product, but at the same time, there's some really cool things to make, and you can make customized candies. And it uses its own proprietary design software, so you can't really just like upload your own part and make it. But I assume there's ways to convert parts into it. So it's made by 3D Systems, which they've been well known for powder-based 3D printers and doing a pretty good job with those. And so it's a pretty cool machine. I think it's pretty. The water comes down through a little tiny microfluidic channel that is small enough that the water alone will not flow. And then there's a little tiny piezo membrane inside that channel that when you energize it, expands to fill the channel, pushing a single droplet of water out. And as it's moving across the print bed, it just fires that really, really rapidly, and that sends little droplets out. It's a pretty cool nozzle design, but really, really difficult to make do it yourself. Wrenches out of sugar, so you can tighten a bolt and just eat the wrench. So the other one is the one that I stole from Mike, which is the 3D printer from space. And this is a collaboration between NASA and Made in Space. And well, they're based in Texas, but I just for silliness put location as the International Space Station because that's where the machine is. They're just madeinspace.us. And one of the main parts that has been talked about a lot is the 3D printed wrench, which is a little wrench that was designed because some of the astronauts up on the space station they're tightening some bolts in various different places on the inside of the station behind some panels. And their current wrenches, so they have a full set of regular metal wrenches, but they're really hard to get into certain spots and to fit their hands behind things with these big wrenches. So they wanted a custom, specific size that fit in the inside behind one of the panels. So instead of having to wait a couple months for the next resupply, they emailed the file. And then they printed it out on the space station. It printed really well. I don't have any pictures of the actual printed one because I haven't found any really good high-quality shots, although it's on its way to Earth today, I think, actually.
No, it's been on Earth.
Or this one's been on Earth for a while. The second version of it's on its way back, I think, today or tomorrow when the Dragon comes back down, because they're sending the next batch of parts in this shipment. But they're going to be doing some mechanical testing here on Earth and seeing how it compares because they have an identical machine here, and they print each of the parts on both machines, and they want to see what the differences are. I think it's pretty interesting research. Some of the benefits, it's a specialty wrench, so they would have had to manufacture a wrench on Earth and then send it up, which is a rather expensive and long, drawn-out process to do. It's a pretty low torque ratchet. It's 3 ounce-inches of torque, which is basically nothing. That said, it's 3D printed in space. So there's some things that you can't just say, oh, I need a wrench tomorrow, and send a wrench to space tomorrow. You have to go through a much longer process, and every pound of weight is thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to send it up, and so it makes it really tricky to send individual things. But if you can send a machine to make stuff, it adds a lot of different potential for really creating new cool things. So
Can you go back?